I don't want to watch it. No. I've done 4 of them, and I can't watch any of them. No. I don't know if we actually mentioned exactly what we got while we were at regionals.
Yes, thank you.
Obviously, the 5-star chapter for the 2nd straight year.
One to five?
I'll get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We were a chapter of light for the 2nd year in a row.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about that.
I'm not actually sure what this is.
The chapter of life, I worked on a chapter of life, that's the one dealing with all the service activities.
Okay.
For the chapter, and so you just put together all the activities you've done for the chapter and submit it.
Gotcha.
Really nice.
And the other one was the Distinguished Honors and Action theme. Holiday
First
provided.
place.
Yeah, first place. So
Which that was, I was like, oh.
I think this one was the most unexpected.
It was, I mean, you just didn't know.
So.
It was, yeah.
What I gotta say is it goes most out to people who are returning, not to people who are graduating. I want to talk to you about chapter development. As Dana's already said, this chapter went from a 1 to a 5-star in like 9 months. That's something that headquarters had never heard of. When I joined in February of 2017, so I've been here for a little bit. Chapter was a 1-star. We had 2 officers. It was Ron and Angela. And the chapter was, if I'm correct, wasn't very active at that time.
We were doing a lot of things, but we weren't doing honors in action. We weren't doing college project.
So that spring, we were lucky enough that Catalyst was in Nashville, and we got a group and we went. And going through that experience was completely mind-blowing for all of us involved. And we decided on the way back from Catalyst that the next time we went, we weren't going to watch other chapters walk across that stage. We were going to do it ourselves. So we went to work when we got back, which is at Catalyst was in mid or late April, I think, that year. Through the end of the year, we busted our tails to figure out what in the world we were supposed to be doing, because we had no idea. With the 5-star plan that you have to go through, everything you have to check off that you have to do as you go down to earn those 5 stars. And it was a test, to say the least. Like I said, we didn't have really any idea what we were doing. We were just going through the motions as best we could because none of us had ever been through that process. But we stuck to it. There were times when we just wanted to say, nope, we can't get 5, we're going to stick with 3 or 4, and then that'll be good for us. And then we had to think, it's like, no, we've already started this, let's just make sure we finish it. So we get our write-up done, and we submit the Hallmark Awards. We don't hear anything. We get to Catalyst in Kansas City, and as we're printing our badges, it comes up on the back of one and says, you've won a Hallmark Award. I looked at it, and I looked at Ron, I was like, what is this? And he looked at me, and you could have heard us screaming across the entire lobby. We were getting an international award for Distinguished Officer Team. We were going to walk across that stage. And we did. In order to do those things, you have to have people involved. You have to have a leadership team and an officer team that is just that. They have to be a team. No one person is bigger than the team. Of course, there's going to be disagreements. There's going to be other problems you come across. But if you have a core group that is dedicated to accomplishing that goal, there's no reason you can't get there. We put our minds to this after seeing what went down at Nashville to what went down in Kansas City. I think it was a need to accomplish something. And I don't know if it's been brought up, but the word legacy gets thrown around a lot. I know that I'll be graduating in May. I won't be involved after this, and it's a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Thank you, bittersweet. Because I've been in this organization for so long, and I've seen where it's come, and I've seen where and I want to see that you guys continue on the road that we've set. But you won't be able to do it unless you have a team that is willing to sacrifice a little bit of their time to do the work. So it is imperative that the group that remains, you get other members involved. You study the honor study topics. You do the research. You come up with all these other projects. You get the other members involved. It's a cohesive thing that has to be done, because one or two people cannot do everything by themselves. It is a literal team effort. If you don't have the team, it's going to fall apart. And I've been lucky enough to be with two of them that were willing to do that. So, any questions?
And I just want to add on to what you're saying, Joy, to it. And at times, it does get difficult. You might not have an opportunity to really enjoy your breaks. I know during Christmas break, I think we had like 1 week where we were able to do something that week of Christmas with our families and stuff, and then you were right back at trying to write things and then trying to edit things. So, you have deadlines, and it's gonna take you being committed, not only to the organization, but to yourself and what you believe in. And so I would encourage you, if you wanna be a part, please be a part and be very active. We're not saying you have to give up all of your life, because you don't. You find that balance between your studies. I had to find balance between studies, families. Thankfully, I don't have any small kids at home, but still, I've been able to do a lot. I've been able to go to school and still maintain a 4.0 in my studies, and I'm thankful for that. And I have days when I may not get no more than 1 or 2 hours of sleep. That's okay with me, because at the end of the day, if you're satisfied with what you're doing, then at the end, it's gonna work out, and you're gonna be able to have that downtime. But if you're gonna be committed and focused, you say, come on, be a part of it, because a lot of things are gonna be new to us too. And we tried to figure out things, and some things we didn't know. So you're gonna have those times when you don't know, you don't understand, but we still have great advisors that we can mess with. So we definitely want you to be a part of our team, and we do want to encourage you to please help us to maintain the 5-star status. At the end of the day, it's gonna look good for you, it's gonna look good for us, it's gonna look good for the school, and it's gonna look good for the chapter. So I would definitely hope you would consider it.
I'm glad you brought that up, the school thing. I hope that everybody saw the email. This chapter is being named Club of the Year for the 2nd time in a row. You do not get that distinction by doing nothing. So, there was an email.
I didn't
There's
see
an
that.
email. It was sent out. The honors publication is April 17th, I believe. Like a couple days ago.
I didn't get it.
Y'all check out the email?
I did, I checked my